This is not how we're supposed to be living. In these bodies, with these infirmities, walking on concrete, being at the bottom. This ain't life. This ain't what it's supposed to be. You gotta realize that there's so much more out here that the Most High intended for us. You gotta realize that this is a bullshit kingdom. It might be nice in front of your eyes. You might see a nice car, a beautiful woman. You might have a good time. And that's all you know. But once you come to this truth and you realize the fullness, and really we don't even know. Because it says that, eyes can't see, or
it says, I have not seen nor ear heard the things the Most High have prepared for them that love Him.
I'm telling you.
We can't even fathom the things that the Most High has prepared for us.
Only a small percent.
Yeah, because it says what? We know in part and we prophesy in part. So the things that we do know, we know the fullness of it, but Yahweh Shem Yahushua says what? Who have known his thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Who have been his counselor. We don't know. All we can do is imagine.
And really, I'll tell you this. We can only imagine to what we know. We know what we see right now. So we can only use this world and compare it with the spiritual world that we know and the things that we know that we're going to get. But like I said, that's only a portion. We can only imagine if this was the kingdom of heaven, if this we can't. There's so much other spiritual things that are going to be going on that we don't even have any idea of. Come on now. We got to take this journey.
It says, because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow.
That's right. Once Adam fell, that's when sin came into the world. That's when we had to go on this path now. Now you don't get the easy way out. Now, you're not going to live that 1,000 years and be translated. You're going to know the sting of death. You're going to have to till the land. You're going to have infirmities. I'm going to give you over to another nation. That's when all of that came in.
It says then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail.
That's right. That's why there's an election according to grace. Because it's not wide anymore. This ain't for everybody. When we came out of Egypt, that was for everybody. But now this salvation is for the elect. The 1/3. That's why it's a lot narrower. It's slim. We're gonna scarcely be saved.
It says they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. And when you the precept for that word elder, when it says elder world, is the greater world, right? Because at a point in time, things weren't this fucked up, man. And that's why the Yahushua says in the book of Acts that we have to wait on Him for the restitution of all things. Because there was a time where Israel was in a good state. But we, like the brother made mention of, we fell from that grace because what? Because of transgression, man. All right, through our forefather Adam and through the transgression of the nation. Now you look around, as I mentioned, it's very sorrowful, full of peril, full of evil. Look at this world that we live in, man. Like the brother made mention of a few times earlier, this world was not made for us. This is why we inherit these curses. But there's a time coming that we're going to inherit the blessings, man. Don't forget about that. I know Zaquan Yashawamba, he pinpointed that. How Jake always make mention, which is very important for us to know the curses. But how Jake mentions after verse 15 on down the curses. But Jake forget that we supposed to get blessings too.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget about that, man. The Most High is a balanced power. We in punishment right now. That's why we getting jacked up the way we getting jacked up. Well, I'm reading on, and this is the point. It says, if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
So if you don't go down this path, if you're not trying to go for glory, if you're not trying to reach the kingdom of heaven and get salvation, or if you're not, first off, you gotta attempt. If you don't even put forth the good foot to make an attempt, then you're never even gonna go anyways. That's like what they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you see a beautiful woman and you never holler at her, well, guess what? You're never gonna get a woman. If you playing basketball and they pass you the ball and you wide open and you don't shoot your shot and you pass the ball, guess what? You're never gonna score any points. Action. You gotta take. No, I'm just saying, man. You gotta take action. You have to be active in this thing. You can't just think that you're gonna sit on a bench and then salvation is gonna fall in your lap. You gotta be proactive.
And by reading this passage, it's showing you that it's not gonna be an easy path to take.
Yeah.
Because why would it go back to our forefather Adam and saying this is exactly why? Because of Adam transgressing. This is why the nation of Israel is in this state, but you still gotta fight. That's pretty much what this is saying, man. You still gotta seek salvation. You still gotta do the right thing. You know, is it gonna be easy? Hell no, man. But is it worth it? Hell yeah. Let me get this precept out the shot.
They say, yeah, if it was easy, then everybody would do it. If it was so easy, then everybody would obtain salvation. But what did we just say? This is for the elect and the elect only. Because only the elect are going to do the things necessary in order to gain the salvation. Only the elect. Go ahead.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love.
Right. He's not going to forget your work. He's not going to forget your labor of love. Because as we said, it takes faith and works to get this thing. And he's not going to forsake you. He's not going to forget the action that you put forth.
Says, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
That's right, that you have done forth the work. Okay? You sacrifice it towards his name.
Which that guy, what they say, we don't have the name yet. How are we gonna do these great works and labor of love if we don't have
towards his name? If you don't have it,
you know, you got to consider all these things, man. And this is exactly. I don't want to go segue too much, but this is exactly why you have to watch who you learn from too. All right, you have to, as the Apostle Gabar always says, extrapolate, put these things into action, and make sense of it. If we don't have the name, how the hell are we going to serve you? How about Shemel Shai in truth and in sincerity? How are we going to fully be able to please him? Because if we don't consider the name, how important that is and how much power it holds, then how the hell are we going to get salvation? Because there's no other name under heaven whereby we must be saved. You know? But I'm going to get back to the subject at hand. This is back in Isaiah chapter 30 in verse 2. I'll start back from the top and read it down. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
That's right, man. Going back to the subject, man. Trusting in the shadow of Egypt. Trusting in the government. Okay? All the people that are on these different programs. You got Section 8, WIC. You got food stamps. You got all these other programs. They're all gonna come to at the end of the day, it's all gonna be chip-based. Because going back to what we said about the vaccine is gonna be on a card. And anybody can forge a card. Anybody can look at a real card. Okay, all you gotta do is get the same type of paper, and print the same shit that's on there. And unless they got a chip within the card, you're gonna pass. Or you just have to flash that motherfucker, you good. But the so-called white man, he's gonna take it from there, then he's gonna go a step further. Because that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's all about that RFID chip. It's all about you having to put your trust in the shadow of Egypt. If you wanna get in your car and go, you gotta scan your chip. You wanna clock in at your job, you gotta scan your chip. You wanna go to the gym, you gotta scan your chip. You wanna go to the grocery store, you wanna go to the mall shopping, you wanna go to a concert, you wanna live life as is, you won't have to conform to this man's society. Or else you are a domestic terrorist.
That's why it says in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, he calls it all, both rich and poor, small and great, free and bond, to receive this mark in the right hand and their foreheads, and he that won't take it shall be killed. That's what the book of Revelation says. But guess what? That's going to come to pass. If you don't follow the procedures that this government has set up, where they bring in this vaccine, all right, by the way of this RFID chip being the mark of the beast, then guess what? Like the brother said, domestic terrorists, they're going to put you on special watch. They might even just put your ass to death, man.
They already got the red list, the blue list, and the yellow list.
It was a clear separation of different classes. People who have knowledge of these so-called secret plans of this agenda of the elite. You know, then you have those that are cool. They just there, and then you got people that just don't know shit, man. You know, but who are they gonna come after first? Those that are considered a threat, right? All right, which essentially, if you look at it with a spiritual eye, is who? The men of the Lord, man. The whistleblowers. All right, because you do have whistleblowers of the government that expose different secrets, and guess what? They put them niggas on trial. Why? Because you putting information out there that we don't want to get out because it'll cause issues. It'll cause uproars. It'll cause people to riot, to come up against the government.
Now, we can break it down one more level from there. How do they know whether you're a man of the Lord or not? Everybody has a Google account, right? If you're on YouTube and you got a profile, you have a Google account. They know what you watch. It's not that hard to track your watch. Your watch history is on your phone. You think they ain't got your watch history?
Yeah, even if you believe it, they still got it.
Yeah.
We know what you searched today.
We know you've been watching these Hebrew Israelite videos. You might not be out here prophesying, but you've been following them. You've been watching.
And it's a camera on every fucking corner in America, man. So you don't think that tied into your YouTube account, your emails, they got all these, facial recognition, they got all this going on, man. So they know who's who.
Just like you can't duck the Lord, you can't duck Esau either. Because he gonna cover all his bases. He gonna make sure that anybody that he wants to bring in his new world order is gonna be in line. So nobody want no out-of-pocket slaves. You don't want your woman out of pocket. You know? And we are the Most High's woman. He don't want us out of pocket. But that's the whole point of the RFID chip, is Esau saying that you're not the Most High, you're mine. So, in the sense, you're Esau's woman. And he ain't gonna want his woman out of pocket.
Claim for y'all.
I got a
claim for you right there. I got you. Being selfish all the time.
I get this preset for you, bro. This is Revelation 13, starting at the 10th verse. But thou hast kept the word of my patience. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
And what is that hour of temptation? It's really ultimately what Jacob's going through Jacob's trouble. You know, the famine of the word, the martial law, the RFID chip, all these different perilous times that Yahweh Shem Shai said we were going to come into. All right, dealing with really it's just Jacob's trouble when you put it all together. But it says, "I kept the word of my patience." What is the word of this patience? It's the Holy Scriptures, man. Now here it is. Our people, we all have access to a Bible. You all have probably Amazon accounts. You have vehicles where you can go and get a Bible. Here it is. I'd say it's
got a
really,
phone.
you got a phone. They got electronic Bibles. You know, here it is with I forget how you said it's quoted. It's the most the best-selling Bible, but least read.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the scriptures, not the scriptures tell us as a nation, we outnumber all the different nations upon the earth, but yet here it is. You don't have too many that believe it. You don't have too many that follow it. I'm gonna say that. You don't have too many that follow the scriptures. Alright? So that means is what? It's talking about the elect.
It says, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which will come upon the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Yeah, so it's not only is the elect men gonna have to deal with it, the entire world is gonna be going through perilous times, man. All right, sedition among men, these race riots, you know, the famine, not having food and not having sustenance. The whole America's gonna go through it, man. And it's not gonna be just in here and there like you see. You have certain places that you have food shortages, coin shortages. You know, you have a different little perilous pockets. It's gonna be on a nationwide scale.
They talking about the truckers are going straight. They had a video, as far as I can see this way, and as far as I can see that way, all semi trucks, you know, striking. All the substance, all the goods that come into the city come in by the way of trucks. So if these trucks ain't moving, ain't gonna be nothing in these stores.
Hey, I'm Salaki. I hope I don't mess up.
No, you good.
And she was like, so what are y'all doing? I'm like, preaching the Bible. You know, me and Carl know her from growing up back in the day.
She listen to you.
Yeah. Look at it. It's a little smell. Smell. Go ahead. But yeah, so she was just like, oh, y'all black Hebrew Israelites? I was like, yeah, you know, not really black Hebrew Israelites. She's like, okay, are y'all the good ones or disrespectful ones? I was like, wait, what you mean? You know? But she said she done ran into a couple, you know, around the way. I don't know if it was comfy or not, or, you know, because there could be other people. We had, remember the guy, the King Judah, whatever it is. You know, he came up that day from, I forget which camp he said he was with. I think he was with Opie or it don't matter, HRI, whatever.
Yeah, the guy that was working at the Woodman Tower that had the fringes on his.
Yeah, you know, but that's why this is important, man. And even to all of us, man, we have to get, like we were saying, study to show ourselves approved. Because when people come up with these questions, you got to go back to that milk. That's why it says what. In the time that you ought to be teachers, there's need of milk, man. But you gotta remember that milk, because if I'm grown up from milk and I'm on steak now, if somebody comes up, I can't just cut my steak smaller so they can eat it. No, I gotta give them the milk that I once had, man.
Yeah.
Because the closer we get to the end of this, you're gonna have more people coming up asking questions, you know? Because one thing is she said she gotta get more understanding, because she feel like God keep leading her back to the Hebrew Israelites. And I was like, hey, they could be, you know. So I'm just speaking to us. That's why we gotta read every day. You know, like we gotta read every day. Like I read, you know, when we had to read Ecclesiastes, I pretty much read it all in one day. And I retained what I retained from it. Is it a whole lot more I wish I would have? Yes, indeed. But just having that spirit, the Lord, you know, He's going to allow you to retain what you need to retain, and even pray that you retain before you read. Man, the Lord is there. You know, wisdom coming from on high. So I just wanted to say that, because she was kind of kind of being anxious. You know, she was being anxious and everything. So
Her kind of getting loud.
She had been hitting me up a while on Facebook. I had to read the message, but she was on some bullshit. She trying to teach me and shit.
yeah, and that's one of the things she said. So do y'all believe that women shouldn't teach? I said, yeah, we believe that.
But she said she's like a pastor. She said she's like a pastor.
I think you kind of told me that before. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
She said that she an asshole.
Yeah, she said, Yeah, I was like, oh, that's why you here. That's why you here. But yeah, my bad. Go ahead. But yeah, I'm just wanna, to us, man, just constantly, man, be in the scriptures. I mean, it's something we know, but just,
We at war, man.
Yeah, we at war.
If you know you at war, what do you do between the battles? You got to get that wet sword, or that whetstone, and you got to constantly sharpen your sword. You don't want no blunt sword. You know what I'm saying? You don't want a blunt sword in the middle of a melee. When you're not gonna cut nothing. You're just gonna end up getting cut yourself.
I was just watching the show on Netflix called Forged in the Fire.
Yeah.
Where they make it, and it ain't like you could just get up there and just make anything. Like, no, you gotta have yours better than the next guy, man.
That's why I was looking, mentioned as far as us having to continue to read. That's how we are able to get that daily exhortation, that daily edification, by actually digging and reading and doing our own research. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you, what was that scripture like though? How can you take care of the house of the Lord if you're not taking care of your own house? If you're not doing your own work, how can you go in front of the nation of Israel and constantly exhort them? Constantly edify them and show them through the scriptures how you're supposed to conduct yourself if you're not doing it.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High?
And how do you learn how to rule your own house? By way of using these scriptures. That's how you, from the carnal to the spiritual. This is how you know how to conduct your household. This is how you know how to take care of yourself scripturally. This is how you know how to you know who you are as the scriptures tell you, because you're doing your daily research, you're doing your daily digging, you're reading.
You know what? Also, if I can add on to that, it shows you that the Lord provides us opportunities in life to grow spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not. You gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a problem. Like me personally, I got a problem with anger. And I'm waiting on a spiritual moment, like somebody to come up and start yelling to you to exercise that ability. No, the Lord provides it every day through your life to work on that thing, man. As soon as you wake up. It's just, you can't sit there and get reproved for not being mindful of something, and then you just waiting on that same opportunity to where, okay, next time it'll happen. You know what's gonna happen next time? Even if you have the intentions, your habit is gonna lose your habit. Okay? But then when it comes up, you're gonna be like, oh, I forgot. That's because you wasn't exercising. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says for Earth X. What says something about exercise thereby? Yeah. It says, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11 says, now no chastening for the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceful fruit of the righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. So, what do you go to that word exercise? Is somebody going the blue letter? 12 and 11.
This is how the hell are we gonna that's just how we were
read. 12, I got it. It says exercise, this got exercise naked. To exercise naked in the elixir or a school of athletics, to exercise vigorously in any way, either body or the mind. So when you get chastised, the Lord is putting you through a situation to be exercised. When you're doing push-ups, that's chastisement. You know what I'm saying? Which is exercising, chastising certain muscle groups. So you can't expect somebody tell you how to throw a left cross, and say, okay, you gotta pick your heel up, turn your hip over, and you snap your punches, right? If you don't exercise that and keep doing it, you know what I'm saying, and then you don't do it at all, then you go to sparring, and somebody say, hey, throw that left cross, I showed you. You know what I'm saying? Now you're hesitant, you go to thinking, or if somebody don't tell you anything, you won't forget it. The whole point I'm trying to make is that every day, the things that you need to work on is an opportunity to work on it, not in a specific isolated event. You know what I'm saying? Say I get angry at the brother behind the camera. I'm working on my anger. I get angry at the brother behind the camera, right? And I'm just waiting on another opportunity for that situation of anger and say, okay, now it's the time to calm yourself. He's making you angry, but you calm yourself. No, I work on it every single day when I wake up to when I go to sleep. All right? So when that happens, when anything comes up to stir anger, then you master it. You know? Like Bruce Lee said, become like water. Water can flow, water can crash, water adjusts. If you're just waiting on this one opportunity, make sure you fucked up, I have to show everybody I don't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna perfect the true habit, you know? Let's go.
This is the book of Philippians 2 and 12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. So the reason why I brought that out is, you know, based on what the brother was saying, this is stuff you have to work on not only in the front of people, but when you're not around folks. Because, hey, there's no other breakdown other than what the brother gave. It's like, how can you grow from it unless you're waiting on a specific hostile situation or whatever the situation may be to prove yourself.
That's why the scripture says, examine yourselves whether you're in the faith. What are you examining? You know? It's not saying like, what am I doing wrong or what am I doing good? This is what can I improve on? You know what I'm saying? You know, you're supposed to be looking at yourself to say like, what can I fix? There's 144,000. Many are called, few are chosen. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how much mercy you get. At the end of the day, like you don't know. You're working for this prize. Everybody's running to this prize, man. You know? So you should be constantly making an effort. Nobody should have to tell you that you got to do a lot of videos. Nobody should have to tell you that you need to be attentive to the brotherhood. Nobody should have to tell you need to study. You need to be a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of niggas is falling out, because they're good. But knowing about this externally, but it's not in them. You know what I'm saying? They can sit there and tell you how to do everything, but they don't internalize. You don't see no growth in them. You just see a boss, a person telling you what to do all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody giving you hella good advice about, hey, let's get the scripture that a man that's teaching many, but it's evil unto himself.
Ecclesiastes 37:19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
There's one that is wise, which means he knows, and he's teaching everybody. You got these scriptures, you telling everybody about themselves, you breaking it down with perfection. You ain't saying and one that knows, but don't really know, and he teaches many. He knows exactly what it means. Alright? And you're teaching everybody. Somebody come up, you can tell a nigga woman all about the history of a nigga woman. You can tell a 2/3 all about the history of a 2/3. You can tell an elect all about waking up. But when it applies to you, then you don't know. Oh, I forgot. You know?
There is you want me to read it again, you said?
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 37:19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. There is one that showeth wisdom in words, and is hated. He shall be destitute of all food.
Yeah. So you can get hated for putting out this wisdom, and you're gonna be destitute of all foods. That at the end of the day, that knowledge has to be utilized properly. You gotta know how to internalize it and you gotta know how to project it, man. You know, Jake don't know how to do that all the time, man. You know, and it happens because you come in the gate and you're right all the time. You know what I'm saying? When you come into this ministry, you're right. So it's hard to sit there and get used to not being right or getting used to being a babe, you know what I'm saying, within this gospel, man. You know?
First Timothy chapter 4, verse 16 says, take heed to thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt save both thyself and them that hear thee.
Yeah, continue in the doctrine. Not only continue in it, meaning coming out here doing the work, but you're supposed to continue in it eternally, man. You know what I'm saying? That's straightforward, man. You looking back at the car, that big
This nigga like an owl. You forgot the love.
I don't need that.
He already got enough.
He don't need nobody needs to claim that. You know? It's a fun bag.
Yeah, that's why it says, take heed to thyself and to the doctrine. That was the point that I wanted to get on that as we were speaking on.
Yeah, and let's get that out of his bellies. Yeah. Because what is that water? What is that water while we're here before the brothers get it? What is that water? The water is the word of the Most High. All right? And it says out of the bellies. What is the belly? That's your inner self. That's your deep-rooted inner self. So if it tells you out of the bellies, out of the deep inner self shall flow rivers of living water, that means whatever these scriptures are telling you, it's deep into you. It's something that you really feel and appreciate and respect and consider. Okay? It don't mean that you understand the Holy Spirit will deal with you. And you'll be a nigga in the future. You know, or you'll be a nigga. And somebody say, oh, that's impossible. He dealt with Judas. I'm pretty sure Judas was breaking something down at a point. You know what I'm saying? But deep down, he didn't have that loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever caused him to do. You know, it was said that he wanted to accelerate, the kingdom of heaven coming. It could be assumed that he was a quitter. It could be assumed that money took him over, that the world got a hold of him. At the end of the day, it wasn't in his belly, okay?
It's the book of St. John, chapter 7, and verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
He that believeth on me. So out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. You internally, you should be growing and progressing, and it should be stirring. Stagnant water gets stale and bacteria grows. You know what I'm saying? What is that, being stagnant in a word? It's just knowing the same precepts.